guys, what's up? Thanks for checking out the video today. So today is installment number 3 of the Toasty build. So the Toasty Evo is behind me there. And so at the end of the last video, it was time to put the engine in. I ended up putting it in over the span of a few days. I didn't go too crazy on getting it in super quick. I wanted to be a little bit detailed on it. So I did more cleaning. I got it all together. So let's take a quick look here. Okay, so Evo 5 engine is in. Like I said in the earlier video, I took care of the valve cover. The valve cover gasket was leaking, and did kind of a more of a stock setup here. Really, the only mods here are a filter, and I did a HKS blow-off valve, as you can see down there, but I recirculated it. And recirculating it just helps with the MAF readings on the stock setup. There are times where the blow-off valves will mess with the MAF, and if you recirculate it, you don't have that problem. So yeah, so it is in, and it's running fantastic. So actually I'll put this down and fire it up for you guys. Very good engine. Yeah, so engine's in, running, transmission's in, transfer case is in. Now, I haven't put the front axles in because while I was working on this thing, I realized that the front wheel bearings have a absolute ton of play in them. So I am not happy with that. So that's not acceptable. I wouldn't drive a car like that. Now, what that'll cause, that much play in the front wheel bearing, because the front disc is going to be attached to the face of that bearing, and the brake is attached to the knuckle. The rotor is going to tip a little bit and just wear the absolute snot out of the pad. So it's just going to eat through brakes. So when I originally pulled the front rotors off, they had some really irregular wear on them. That would be why. So I ordered 2 new front wheel bearings, and I'm going to swap those out. So where are we at here? So I've got 2 front wheel bearings to do. I've got the front axles to put back in, and then I have this here to fix the door handle popped out, which is a very odd situation. So the door is going to have to come apart for that. I'm going to do a quick segment for you guys on taking the doors off, because it's handy to know how to get those off and how to most easily work on them. Basically, with these doors, if you have to dig into it, like for example, the door handle pops out, which is weird, but I'll get to the bottom of it. The easiest way to fix it is to not have the door on the car. These doors come off really quickly, and I'll show you how to do that. Throw it on a stand and work on it flat in front of you. That's how to do it. So yeah, just coming up here in this video, I'll show you how to get those doors off and work on them, sort of the path of least resistance on dealing with that. So all right, so next will be wheel bearings and assembling the brakes, new pads, new rotors. getting those axles in and addressing those door handles. Both sides popped out on the back, so we'll get that fixed up. Okay, so I'm at the point where I have the knuckles off, and I'm going to be working on swapping out the wheel bearings. So I received the wheel bearings, buy a bunch of them usually because they're a good deal to buy in bulk. There is the part number for the 5 and 6 cars. And so taking a look over here, I threw in new pads on the Brembos, and the whole knuckle's been removed. There's the driver's side, there's the passenger side. So these wheel bearings, I can't in good conscience just do rotors and brakes when the wheel bearing is that bad. The wheel bearings have to be changed because the new rotor and brake pads are just going to be burnt up. It's ridiculous. So wheel bearings are getting changed out both sides. So what we're going to be doing for that, the knuckle's completely off. You can remove this whole thing fairly easily. The only thing that you don't want to mess with is the ABS sensor, the speed sensor here, because these are pressed in, and once they get some dirt and grime in there, they're impossible to get out. You just break them. So for the wheel bearing to come out, it's 4 bolts right here, and then you press the center out. Okay, so the wheel bearing looks like this, and yeah, just bolts right there. There's the bolts, go right in here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. Swap in these new bearings and start to get these brakes back together. Okay, so I have the knuckle kind of throwing in a homemade jig here. There's the wheel bearing at the bottom there, and so basically I'm going to be using a 20-ton press to push that wheel bearing out. Alright, so here we go. Alright, simple as that. This one was actually really easy. You're probably many of you are looking at me like I'm crazy, but there's actually been a few of these wheel bearings that have been so welded in there from rust and salt that even 20 tons, I had to get a pry bar in there and work it loose with 20 tons on top of it. So this one, thank goodness, was no problem. But the reason it's set up like this is because, for whatever reason, these Mitsubishi wheel bearings, and I've done a ton of them, some of them are just in there like you wouldn't believe. So yeah, pretty anticlimactic, but it did in fact push itself out. So this will be an easy one. All right, so the front end of the car is now together. So new wheel bearings, everything's assembled. The stance on this car is pretty decent with those HKS coilovers, and aftermarket wheels look decent. They are a replica wheel, but still the stance is pretty decent. It's on point. Okay, so the last thing I got to square away is the door handle. So let's take a look at issue that we're having here. Okay, so here we have the door handle. Now what's happened is that someone's grabbed onto it and it has popped out. Okay, so the easiest way to work on something like this on an Evo 4 to 9 is to just take the door off. So now I've already taken the passenger side off, so I'll give you a quick tutorial on what to do here. So steps are very simple. So first thing you would do is unplug the electronics. To get to those is very easy. All you're doing is opening the front door, and the harness is right there. You got to pop out a rubber grommet and then it unclips. So next you would knock the pin out right here of the safety strap for the door, and all that is you take a light hammer and you tap on the bottom. It'll pop out the top. It's just a press fit. Now after that, what you do is you shut the door and latch it, and you unbolt the hinges here. It's just 4 bolts. Okay, and then after that, all you're doing is grabbing onto the door and pulling the handle and lifting the door off the body. That is the easiest way to do it. And then take it over and you put it on a stand. Padded stand, and then you can work on it properly. So pretty straightforward. Now the issue that is arisen is very simple here. So when they wrap the car, there's actually 2 fasteners on the inside, here and here, holding the door handle. The one on this side is very hard to get to. There is a clipping point right here where the handle slides into the body. So it kind of slides in like that. But there's supposed to be a fastener here. That fastener is pretty hard to get to, and they just decided to skip it. So what needs to happen now is you got to put that fastener back in there, and that's it. So it's a pretty straightforward repair. There's nothing particularly broken. It's just the handles popped out because the company that wrapped the car took a little shortcut and just decided to not put in a fastener that's very difficult to get to. So as far as that fastener is concerned, it is tough to get to, but it just takes time. And so I'll put that back in, and that'll just be squared away. All right, so step 1, get in here and get this harness disconnected. Okay, so you just pull the rubber back and delicately pull the harness out. There is a little bit of slack in there. And then okay, so that's the door right there. That would be all the window and things like the locks. All right, so the hinges are right here. Okay, so next step. Okay, open the door. Okay, get your body hammer. Okay, you don't need a sledge or anything for this. Okay, and you got the safety strap here, the pin. There you go. There's a pin on the ground. Retrieve pin. Put that aside, that's important. It's pretty much a roll pin. It's just by interference fit, so okay, now next step, close your door up.
Okay, and at this point, you want to unbolt the hinges. Okay, hinges are unbolted. So just get in tight to the door. Okay. Open it. Grab the edge. That's it. Toss it up on the rack, and we'll be pulling this off and reattaching that door handle properly. All right, it's back on the car here. Nice and square. All right, so Toasty is pretty much done here. Now we're gonna do a whole bunch of cleaning and get it ready for sale. So it's pretty late in the season. If I'm not able to sell it this fall, then it'll be up in the springtime, which is the ideal time to sell. But you know, I'm still gonna put it up. Evo 5s are still in demand, obviously, so other than it being a wrap, the car is very, very, very well put together. So, all right, get it cleaned up and get it for sale. All right, guys, so that's it. That's been almost 3 months of work. Unfortunately, I was not able to get on this car full time. I would have been able to probably get it done in about 3 weeks or so. The engine was a major problem as far as sourcing one. As soon as I found out that thrust was ruined in the original engine, that ruled out rebuild, so I had to source Evo 5 engines. So that took some time. So that was the main issue. Car is here. It's going to be hopefully sold today and move on to a new project. So this car's been fun, drives really well, and but time to move on to something else. So soon I'll be coming out with another video just outlining what I'll be doing for the winter. I've got a few winter projects coming up, so thank you for watching these videos that I put up. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. Make sure you hit that bell to get notified whenever I put updates. And also check me out on Instagram at Rent Rampage. The winter, I will just be announcing a few major projects in the next coming weeks, and hopefully you guys are on board for them and check them out. I'll be working on them regardless, and I enjoy doing these videos for you guys. So hopefully, yeah, I'll put up some projects here for the winter, and hopefully you'll be interested. So thank you for checking out the video. I'll be putting up another video in the next couple weeks for some body modifications I did on another Evo 6 just recently. So that'll be interesting. That involves putting on some Feast fenders. These are some rare aftermarket rear flares out of Japan. So stay tuned for that new video. All right, thanks for checking it out, and have a good night. Bye-bye.